Hey, tell us who you are and what business that you have here at the Vegas Chamber event.
Absolutely. So my name is Chief Alvarez, and I oversee Protective Force International. It's a safety and security organization that focuses on serving the community, the businesses, and anything that we can do to help secure Las Vegas.
How long have you been in it?
So I started it. A few $100s in a laptop, and now we're one of the largest patrol forces in the state.
Wow.
Yeah, we're very, through the grace of God, I've been so blessed. The organization has been blessed, and just to have a great team. And again, we started with one guy, myself, and it's grown to over 250 officers. Yeah, we have 13 K-9 officers, fleet of vehicles, and last year we actually answered 200,062 calls for service in the communities that we serve. No, we're getting there.
Wow, you're growing. How long did it take you to grow to that size?
So on paper, we've been operating for 5 years, but operationally about 4 years and change. Yeah, so very quickly, it's been taking a vision of what I've noticed, that there was a gap in our community between the residents and law enforcement, and they're our greatest partners and we love them, but they can't get to everything. So we are kind of bridging that gap, and I saw that there was a need, and a good entrepreneur fits that block in where it needs to go. So it's been very successful.
So it's primarily the residents that are really benefiting from this service versus maybe a hotel, because I was born and raised here, grew up, so I always know that there's security on our properties, right?
Yes.
So where's the bulk of your calls coming from?
So quite the contrary. Also, we serve a lot of casinos.
Okay.
Yeah, so we augment the casinos with our special response teams and the K-9s. So if they need anything, we're there to call as well. So we're that extra little oomph if they need something, and specifically like large events where our wonderful city hosts F1 and hosts the Super Bowl. So we were very busy in all those days. But yes, the residents and the communities that are typically not as served as traditional communities are taking a tremendous benefit for our services and our partnerships. We're also the Housing Authority officers, so we serve that community as well. We're very honored to, and just a multitude of people. And it's very nice to see the private sector step up in places that traditionally the public sector would take over, but businesses coming together and pretty much taking on the burden of that, and it's again been very successful.
Nice. That's encouraging to hear, especially in a short amount of time that you started, right? What are some challenges that you think that you run into as a business owner? I'm going to kind of break it down now more on you, and the business. And, since you started, because we all have that dream and that vision, right? So what do you think that you've encountered along the way that's been a challenge for you? And then how have you overcome that?
So that's a great question. So it actually changes each year. So it's, as an entrepreneur, you say, I need capital, right? You want to get your startup up, and you do great things. And sometimes you get that capital, but you don't have the experience to spend it and where to spend it correctly, and then things happen. At the beginning, it was always capital and figuring out where that would come from, and then it went to managing the growth, right? COVID happened. We grew I was talking to another business out here, about 315% we grew during the years of COVID. And now it was managing that growth. Now it's stabilizing and then finding the right quality individuals as team members to come on board and lead individuals who are willing to put their lives in for the community. So it's a very different industry, very different mission, but at the end of the day, it's still a business. So it operates as a business. And I didn't go to business school, and that's for the entrepreneurs out there. You don't need business school. I think I was a YouTube Academy graduate, so I was looking at YouTube on how to balance books, how to do this, and if YouTube can give me a certificate, that'd be great, because
I know.
But at the end of the day, it's just common sense. It's to follow your passion, common sense leadership, and you have a great opportunity. If you have something that nobody has and you fit that niche in society, you will succeed. Just keep at it.
And do you find that you went to maybe some resources, outside services to, let's just say on the accounting side, because I'm horrible at my own stuff, right? So I have somebody that does that. So, and I'm using that as an example, right? So, like you said, a business is a business, and actually all businesses are pretty much run the exact same way, the same formula, if you will, right? So, we're, if we were talking to somebody that is thinking about starting their own business, what advice would you give them as far as where to look when you're in that mode of growth? Where to find those people to be either part of your team or that you're outsourcing?
That's another great question. So look for businesses that are in the similar industry and similar minded, right?
Yeah.
So you want businesses that are similar in size because they're just as hungry as you are. So us as an organization, we have to leverage our partnerships. So we partner with organizations, not only like casinos, but smaller security companies as we augment and grow. So in looking for things that you don't always need to go for $1 billion company to do your accounting, you can find a business right next door that does just as great of work, but now you're supporting the community, you're supporting that network. Now that word of mouth continues and you continue to grow with somebody who you can work with hand in hand.
So you're talking about community, and that just made me think about maybe some community outreach. Do you guys do anything that is there to, outside of the day-to-day job? How are other ways that you're supporting the community?
So that's behind me. I think they left. Yes. So the two females that were just here. So they're actually our community-oriented patrol officers.
Oh, nice.
So law enforcement has a similar unit that goes out in the community and does events and does, great things in the neighborhoods. So do they. So all of our partners and our properties have events. We send out like our canines. The team goes out there, stickers for the children. We buy food. We provide resources. Another great thing that they do is they partner with Vegas Stronger as an organization. So they do outreach for the homeless and individuals who are challenged in the street. So once or twice a week, depending on the workload, the team partners with Vegas Stronger, and we'll go out downtown and we'll actually provide resources to the unhoused and see it. Do you want to get off the streets? And here's a bus right here. You just pick up your stuff and go, and it can be quick. Some people have been very successful, and then typically some need multiple times talking to, right? So, and providing these resources. So our focus is the community when it comes to it, because at times, again, it's not always served to the capacity that we have the capabilities for as a government, right? So private sector can step in and fill that gap, and we're proving that this private-public partnership really does work.
That is amazing. This is happy to hear, because sometimes we don't see that, right? We see sometimes the results of it, but we don't know really what goes on behind the scenes to make it happen, right? So where do you see yourself, in the future? And I know back in the day we used to say, 5 years from now, but I think it grows so fast that we always have to have those almost yearly plans, right? So where do you see this going for you and the company?
So ultimately, I see that law enforcement and very specialized responses will be specialized. I think in the future, private sector is going to play a larger role to protect and safeguard private sector assets, and we're going to rely on each other to handle more of the issues that are of quality of life. Like, for instance, the police department absolutely needs to handle all emergencies, right? Yeah. But for a noise disturbance, a barking dog, like somebody who's trying, all the 311 stuff that is typically not geared towards a police response, that I think the future is going to be alleviated to a private sector, because it allows them to actually do police work. It actually allows them to get out, hunt for the real bad guys, the guys and girls who are doing horrific things. That's what needs to be stopped by them. And then that gives us the opportunity to build the quality of life in our cities.
Nice. So I would imagine that with all of that involved, you need some recruitment, right? So talk to us, just let us know a little bit about what that would look like, and who, if somebody's watching this, how do they get involved with you?
Yes, we're hiring, so you can apply too. Okay. Right?
I'm going to apply. I want to be with the canine unit because I love dogs.
So we have a thorough academy, so you're going to have to pass that as well. So, but ultimately, we look for individuals who are passionate about serving. This is a very specific position, right? We're not cops, but we are still security. So there is a level that we cannot pass. We have certain laws and regulations that we follow as a regulatory board. They also watch what we do. So you need to be trained that much more to understand our roles, and the difference in the community aspect, and work with them. So if anybody who wants to work towards being a law enforcement officer, this is the closest thing that you can do to actually work hand in hand with them and serve the community at the same time. So military veterans, I'm a vet myself.
Nice.
You know, we have a congressional award from Congress because like 50% of the department was veterans at one point. National Guardsmen and women, reservists. So anybody who has that passion to serve, we want them to apply. You send their resume and their CV over to our website, which is protectiveforceintl.com. Follow us on all the social medias because we dominate in that part. We love our pictures with the dogs and all that. So, but yes, we are looking for servant-minded individuals.
Cool. Well, it's been amazing talking to you. And when we first started talking, I mentioned that I'd seen you before at an event, and I was so impressed and fascinated with your group and your guys. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing for our community. It's freaking amazing. And I look forward to talking to you next year because you're going to be bigger than 200 people, right? So I'm excited to see where you're at next time. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks, everyone.